or grandkids are like mine, they have some pretty unique patterns when it comes to that, especially when they're around a stream or a pond or a lake. Last week we were down in southern Iowa with our grandkids and took them out to a lake that's just outside of town that they've been to many, many times. So when we stopped the car, they piled out and ran for this little peninsula that's there and immediately started throwing rocks and sticks and anything else that wasn't nailed down into the water. They had great fun for the longest time, but it's especially fun if you can manage to find something really big, throw it right in front of your brother or sister and manage to splash them and then make it back to the car before they can catch you. I've noticed that something else happens when objects hit the water, and that is that when that first plunk hits the water, then there's ripples that fan out. We've all seen that. And they fan out and get wider and wider until eventually they just disappear. Thinking back to the fun the kids and we had last week and watching the water as they played, it occurred to me how much those ripples are like the COVID pandemic that we've been living through for the last 5 months. From that first plunk, when we started hearing how coronavirus might change our lives, we've been seeing effects that have been spreading and widening moment by moment ever since. However, these ripples keep widening and seem to have no end sight for the foreseeable future. The ripples have affected our personal lives, our school and work lives, our relationships in our families and circles of friends, vacation plans, and the list goes on and on. Sometimes those ripples seem fairly harmless. They're just a matter of having to adjust our daily habits or ways that we would normally do things. But we can do that. That's fairly easy. But other times, those ripples have seemed more like a tidal wave when they seem to overcome us in moments of sadness or fear or loneliness, grief, any of those things that just anyway overwhelm us, and these tidal waves just completely do that now. In those moments, when the ripples become tidal waves, for me, I turn to God's word. Deuteronomy 31:8 tells us that God will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Even though right now it seems like nothing will ever be the same, and quite frankly, it probably won't, we know that God himself never changes. The words that I read from Deuteronomy were meant for the Hebrews who had fled from Egypt to go to the promised land. But they're meant for us too. Those words never change, just like God never changes. When the COVID rock hit the water earlier this year, it caused ripples that will be affecting us for a long time to come. But with God's mighty strong arms, his presence, his love surrounding us, we'll be safe and we will not be overcome, no matter how big those ripples get. God bless you all and have some fun in the water. See you later.